Ever wondered how powerful our brain is at forgetting? We often praise our ability to remember, to retain information. But there's an equally important, yet less celebrated function of our brain: the power to forget. Imagine you're trying to clear your mind, to erase a piece of information from your memory. It turns out, your brain has to work harder to forget than it does to remember. That's right. Experiments have shown that when we make a conscious effort to forget something, our brain activity spikes. And the result of this surge in brain power? A memory that starts to fade. But here's the rub. This process doesn't work equally well for all types of memory. Some information, it seems, is more stubborn, more resistant to being erased. So, what is it that makes some memories stickier than others? And how exactly does our brain go about the task of forgetting? Well, the science is still unfolding. But what we do know is that the act of forgetting isn't just about the absence of remembering. It's not a passive process where memories simply decay and fade away over time. No, the act of forgetting is active, intentional. It's our brain at work, trying to clear the clutter, to make space for new memories, new experiences. Yet it's not as simple as just hitting a delete button. Our brain has to work harder to forget than to remember. It's like trying to erase a pencil mark with a rubber eraser. You have to apply pressure, make an effort, and even then, a faint trace of the memory might still linger. So next time you're struggling to forget something, remember your brain is working hard on your behalf. It's flexing its muscles, putting in the effort to help you let go. The act of forgetting isn't as simple as it seems. It's a complex process that involves our brain working in overdrive. So how does our brain manage to intentionally forget? Well, to understand this, researchers conducted fascinating experiments. Participants were shown different images ranging from landscapes to human faces. They were then instructed either to remember or to intentionally forget these images. The researchers didn't stop there. They used magnetic resonance imaging, commonly known as MRI, to observe what was happening in the participants' brains. And what they found was truly surprising. When participants were given the cue to forget, the regions of the brain they were studying became more active than when they were tasked with remembering. This heightened activity is not just a random occurrence, it was directly linked to the participants' ability to forget. The increased brain activity led to the participants actually having a harder time remembering the images they were instructed to forget. But there's a catch. The brain activity couldn't be too high or too low. A moderate level of activity was the key. When the activity was too high, it strengthened the memory. When it was too low, the memory remained unchanged. Now you might think, so if I want to forget something, I just need to crank up my brain activity to the max. But it's not that simple. The process of forgetting is a delicate balancing act. It requires just the right amount of brain activity. Too much or too little, and the memory stays put. The researchers also found that the type of image influenced the success of forgetting. Participants had a harder time erasing images of faces from their memories compared to other subjects. This might be because human faces trigger stronger emotions in us than images of places or landscapes. And the more emotional our perception of a situation, the more deeply it's etched into our memory. So, forgetting is not as simple as it seems. Our brains have to work harder to forget than to remember, and the process is influenced by factors such as the type of memory and our emotional response to it. Interestingly, a moderate level of activity seems crucial for forgetting. Too high, memory strengthens. Too low, it remains unchanged. But does the type of memory influence our ability to forget? You might be surprised at the answer. Our brain, fascinatingly enough, doesn't treat all memories the same when it comes to forgetting. Research shows that we struggle more with forgetting certain types of images, specifically human faces. But why is this? It seems to be linked to the emotional content that human faces carry. Yes, you heard that right, our emotions play a significant role in our memory processes. Each face we encounter tells a story. It could be a story of joy, sorrow, anger, or even surprise. These emotions, associated with human faces, are etched deeply in our memories. They create a strong bond with the memory, making it harder to forget. Imagine trying to forget the face of a loved one or an old friend. Tough, isn't it? That's because these faces are associated with a myriad of emotions from our shared experiences. Now, compare that to trying to forget what you had for breakfast last Tuesday. Probably much easier, right? That's because a simple, everyday task like eating breakfast doesn't usually carry the same emotional weight. So it seems our emotions are inextricably linked to our memories. They influence how we remember and, importantly, how we forget. The more emotional the memory, the harder it is to forget. Can the ability to intentionally forget help us in any way? Let's talk about it. Imagine the possibilities if we could harness this power of intentional forgetting. It could be a game changer for many people, particularly those dealing with traumatic experiences. Picture this. Soldiers returning from war zones, their minds burdened with horrifying memories that make everyday life a struggle. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is a heavy cross to bear. But what if these individuals could intentionally forget those traumatic experiences? The implications are profound. This could offer a new way to manage and perhaps even overcome the debilitating effects of PTSD. But the potential uses of intentional forgetting aren't limited to traumatic memories. This ability could also help us erase unnecessary information from our minds. We all have memories or knowledge that we simply don't need. Trivial facts, outdated information, and irrelevant details that clutter our minds. What if we could intentionally forget these? It could free up mental space, making room for new useful information and potentially even improving our cognitive efficiency. The ability to forget intentionally isn't just about erasing the past. It's about shaping our future. It's about giving ourselves the freedom to focus on what's truly important, unburdened by the weight of unnecessary or harmful memories. The power to forget, it seems, can be a powerful tool for healing and growth. So, what have we learned about the power of our brain to forget? It's a captivating journey. Our brain's ability to forget is not just a passive act, but a conscious one, demanding more effort than remembering. The process varies for different memories, with emotional ones being more stubborn. However, through certain methods or even medicines, these can be diminished. This intentional forgetting might aid those battling post-traumatic stress disorder or harsh memories. Forgetting may seem like a failure of the brain, but it is in fact a sign of its remarkable power and complexity.